My friends, it is a pleasure for me to have the opportunity to address you again. You know, I have lived and I've traveled in many, many places, and everywhere I went, I have always come home. Home to the familiar Singlish, home to our mee pok and our prata and our nasi goreng, home to MacRitchie Reservoir on the East Coast, the beautiful shop houses of Joo Chiat and the grand buildings of St. Andrews Road, home to my people. Those of you who have been abroad like me will know what it feels like to have this constant yearning to come to this little red dot we call home. But you know, home has stopped feeling like home. For all the PAP rhetoric accusing us of treating Singapore like a hotel, they have not realized that it is they who have turned us out of our home and then rented it back to us as tenants. We no longer, my friends, live in our own country. We live in a strange land, a land where we are not entitled to share with one another what hurts us and harms our community, where we are disallowed from discussing what needs to be done, where those who speak up are rebuked and accused of treason, where honest, decent human beings who work for the welfare of their fellows are silenced. But the SDP has refused to be silenced. The SDP has insisted on our right, the right of citizenship, to speak up when things have gone wrong, to tell those in power when they have lost their way, to not pretend not to notice our elderly and our poor trying to eke out a living literally on the trash heaps of our nation, to say enough, no more. We look around us and we are unhappy with what we see. We look around us and we have decided that we will not look the other way. Today we have launched our program. We offer to you, the people of Singapore, an alternative version of our future. Today we offer you, the people of Singapore, a set of fresh, creative and humane ideas to rejuvenate our community and make us live again. Our party program has been the result of many years of work by many dedicated people who have looked deeply into where we are now and have assessed where we might end up if we don't change course now. It's About You is a comprehensive program that has been costed and tested against the thinking of internationally renowned academics and thinkers. It is a departure from these time-worn and redundant policies of flooding the country with cheap labor who are exploited for their contribution. And you know, at this stage, let me say something. The SDP is not anti-foreigner. The SDP isn't a xenophobic little Singapore party. We must distinguish between the foreigners who share our island with us and the immigration policy of the PAP. That is what we find problematic. To try and fit 6.5 million people onto 675 square kilometers of land is madness by anyone's count. We call for a departure from filling every available space with the multinational money-making venture, and of constantly telling people that they have to spend, 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 and spend some more. And in the process of doing it, they raise the costs of basic services, housing, school books, doctors, so that Singaporeans struggle to keep a roof over their heads and have to decide and debate whether or not that nagging pain can wait till next month to see a doctor. That is not a policy that we want. That is not a country that we want. And that is not a future that we look forward to. What we look forward to is a future where every Singaporean is safe and cared for, where all our children have the opportunity for an excellent education, where our old people can live out their last days in comfort and dignity. That is your right, and that is what the SDP will demand on your behalf. Once upon a time, the PAP strove for these things too. Today, it has utterly lost its way. It has lost the right to tell us that it knows best. It has lost the right to tell us that it does the best in our interests. Our alternative vision speaks to your deepest aspirations. Our alternative vision is your vision. I invite you very strongly to get a copy of it for yourselves, to find out what we propose and how we've arrived at these proposals, to see for yourself that some of our policies have even now been adopted by the PAP, to read the views of internationally renowned academics and thinkers and recognize that we are in step with the thinking of the age. Let me tell you one or two of the policies that we recommend. We call for a new, internationally recognized way of measuring how well the economy is doing. Not just the numbers of the GDP and by what percentage it has increased, but how it has benefited you, Singaporeans. We want to see income rebalancing policies, restructuring our tax bands, introducing a minimum wage, looking again at the high level of our GST and removing GST from our essential services. We advocate retrenchment benefits for those who have lost their jobs and are taking time to retrain before they re-enter the workforce. After all, not all of us earn the amounts that allow us to save for a rainy day, since wages in the last 20 years have declined so significantly for ordinary Singaporeans. We want to see the creation of rooted and sustainable homegrown industries, companies that we can be proud of and that we will know will be there in 100, 150 years' time. Not a company that's going to look for a cheaper place to invest in 5 or 10 years from now. We call for the enhancement of the capabilities of our small and medium sector. We propose a program for reducing the cost of HDB flats to make them truly a public service, not a money-making, profit-oriented concern. And we propose to increase expenditure on education and healthcare to build a healthy, thinking, creative, and dedicated population which can meet the challenges of the 21st century and beyond. And when it is time to retire happy and healthy. My friends, with the publication of It's About You, we can say firmly that no longer can the PAP write off the SDP. In fact, the worn-out habits of the PAP are themselves what need to be written off by you, the electorate. The SDP's program offers a constructive and workable alternative, an alternative that the PAP is afraid of because it has nothing with which to challenge it. It has nothing because with long-time success, with long-time constraints on you, the electorate, has come laziness and complacency, and might I say, arrogance. We are not arrogant. We are not complacent. We place our proposals before you, the people of Singapore, and we ask you to coldly, soberly, and intelligently measure them against what has been thrown at us in these last 20 years, which have resulted in the structural problems that we are experiencing today. And we ask you to challenge the government. Ask what its response to the SDP's program is. What is our response to the PAP? We say it is time you went, and went quickly, and leave the government of this country to those who care about it, to those who care about its people, to those who care about its future, because it's about you. Thank you very much.